Yeah, because so like they when they asked me, they were like, you know, can you send us a contract, you know, about the speaking and stuff like that? And I'm like, well, I can just send you an invoice. They're like, no, we want a contract. And I was like, I didn't know that there's a different. I knew that there's a difference between an invoice and the contract, but I'm like, why would you need both of them and not just the invoice? The invoice gives you the scheduled fees.
Yes.
But the contract outlines
what am I getting? What am I paying for?
Exactly. But on the invoice, can't you put that on the invoice too?
You can write it all in the invoice. You can write it all in the invoice and even put a clause in there that says like, you know, by agreeing, you know, by paying this invoice, you are also agreeing to. There are ways around it. It's just all in the wording of like how you word it, note it, etc. The contract in itself gives like a very straight line of you sign this document. You agreeing to everything. In an invoice, you can easily like, I mean, I ain't sign it. I just paid. So is it
okay? So on the contract,
it's not as clean,
on the contract though, it had my signature. It had freelancer signature.
Okay,
but it didn't have their signature. It had their the company, their title, and the date.
Okay,
is that like should I add the signature page over there? I mean, this a signature line over there as well. All right, so we here. Ooh. We here. You ready? Yeah. Welcome to In My Bag with Backpack Jeff and Cookie B. You got her and you got me. Y'all know what it is, man. We connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today, we are the ordinary people and we doing extraordinary things. It's been far too long. Hello.
Oh, hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Merry
My
Christmas,
goodness.
whatever it was.
Happy holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of that.
Yep, February, January, everything is.
I know.
Speeding through.
Man, so talk to me about the wins. What has 2023 looked like for Cookie B so far?
Ooh, it's been seamless workflows and organization. Last year, so
I'm jealous, first and foremost. Seamless workflows and organization.
I mean, there's still some things to like put in there, but for the most part, so January, the end of January was like my 1 year full-time entrepreneur anniversary, which is pretty cool. Somebody was like, "Happy birthday!" I was like, "Thanks." And that first year, it was fun, but it was a lot of. It was like 3 months of I don't have no job. Like, all right, I can kind of do whatever I want.
Right.
And then it was 3 months of okay, I can't do whatever I want. Let me like this not working. I can't just be everywhere all the time. And it was 3 months of kind of pinning down, kind of really chiseling in on the vision and where I wanted to go and how things align, how every piece of me kind of aligned into one space.
Right.
And the rest of the year was like, okay, I'm networking, I'm getting clients, I'm meeting certain capacities and not having the space to kind of seamlessly process everybody. Like my brain is like, yeah, give me like a month now to set up these intake documents and all of this, and people were just like,
wow,
coming back. And it's like I had like basic intake stuff for people and had my basic meeting stuff, but it was so many things that were so many things missing in that process that could have made it a lot seamless. So I try to grace myself because it's like, I mean, it was my first year, Cookie. Like, what did you expect from you? You know, kind of coming into it. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to make money, but I want to be, and I need some room to breathe. So, yeah, so seeing more of that, it was like the last quarter, more so December, was a lot of taking everything from the year and realizing, okay, what do I need to implement for 2023 in a sense of workflows, in a sense of even leaving room for myself to like develop and research and plan things out, in a sense, do more brainstorming and all that stuff, kind of like setting those times aside. What does scheduling look like? Like if I tell myself I'm not meeting on Mondays because it's a planning day, stop scheduling stuff on a Monday because that's the only day that works for them. Like, okay, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. So trying to hold myself accountable to a lot of those boundaries and stuff I set into place. So that's been a lot of 2023 so far, and so far so cool.
No, that's good though. At least it sounds like you know where you're going. So have you set the new systems in play that you have to use, or you're like going to dedicate time to actually create those?
So some of them are still being created. They haven't been launched in a way of, okay, this is what it is. Can
you tell us what systems you created?
Well, so I would say an intake process. So when it comes to like Crunch Financials, there's an intake process that is happening so that when people are on board, when I'm onboarding new clients, whether monthly in a sense, so like monthly retained clients, when I'm onboarding them, like here's a packet of documents for you to fill out, and here's a schedule of like scheduling like these weekly updates that they would get, or these bi-weekly update kind of summary emails, so that they're constantly in the know of like what I'm doing and what I need from them in a sense of that. So kind of updating, so those things, automating a lot.
Okay, so speaking of contract, speaking of contracts, right? Do you have a templated contract that you use? Because that's something that's been asked of me now, is like a contract, and I'm like, well, why do we need a contract? But then I'm like, I understand why we need a contract. So that's the first. That's one.
Yes.
And then after you answer that, I'm going to ask you one A, B, C.
Okay. Yes, I have contracts. I work with contracts with Cookie Captures and with Crunch Financials.
Okay. Did you create them yourself, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have like a legal person look over them, or like how were you so comfortable with just like
with my contract?
Yeah.
So I did some reviews of contracts that I've signed on before, and did research on like basic things that were needed with certain types of services and stuff. And then formulated stuff around that. So it's like, all right, let me take some general Joe Doe type documents, read into a couple Google examples, check out some articles, and just research some things that are important for them, and kind of formulate it myself.
Can I use that template? I might need that template.
I can help you.
Yeah.
I might need that. Adjust some things. What you want it for speaking?
Yeah, because so like they when they asked me, they were like, can you send us a contract, about the speaking and stuff like that? And I'm like, well, I can just send you an invoice. They're like, no, we want a contract. And I was like, I didn't know that there's a difference. I knew that there's a difference between an invoice and the contract, but I'm like, why would you need both of them and not just the invoice? The invoice gives you the scheduled fees.
Yes.
But the contract outlines
what am I getting? What am I paying for?
Exactly. But on the invoice, can't you put that on the invoice too?
You can write it all in the invoice. You can write it all in the invoice, and even put a clause in there that says like, by agreeing, by paying this invoice, you are also agreeing to. There are ways around it. It's just all in the wording of like how you word it, noted, etc. The contract in itself gives like a very straight line of, you sign this document, you agreeing to everything. In an invoice, you can easily I ain't sign it, I just paid. So is it
okay? So on the contract,
it's not as clean,
on the contract though, it had my signature. It had freelancer signature, but it didn't have their signature. It had their name, the company, their title, and the date.
Okay,
is that like, should I add the signature page over there? I mean, this a signature line over there as well.
Yeah. So if they're usually, when I do my contracts, my signature is usually not there automatically, but my system would automatically sign for me once they sign, right? So mine will automatically sign for them. But I've also seen contracts where the idea is to have both signatures on the contract regardless. So yes, you should have.
Okay, I should have that. Okay.
You should have a line for them to sign too.
So now with that being said, within the contract, right, I've gotten this question too. Do you have a preference of hotel, water, flight, stuff like that? maybe I'm not bougie enough.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm not bougie enough because they said speakers like have these preferences
They do.
of like, I'm like,
I don't.
Just give me a bottle of water. Like
listen,
it's,
right?
if it's,
You like, I take whatever.
You know what I'm saying? As long as it's sealed, I'm good.
Yes, yeah. I've always wondered. Like, I think I've sat in some like, and this was like church environment type stuff, and it's like you got the guest pastor coming. And I'm like, why are you sending me to the store to get Fiji water when we got water in here? Why is he so concerned with this water if he telling us about Jesus? But that's a whole nother topic. So I think priorities a little messed up here, but okay. For us though, I mean, when we out in the world, I don't have preferences for stuff because I'm more like, I'm gonna take what you give me. If they ask me if I have a preference, I will share, but I'm not one to.
What would your preference be?
If I had a water preference, I'm just asking for spring water.
Is there non-spring water?
There's purified water, which is okay.
What's purified water?
Purified water
is that like the essentials in the smart water?
Yeah.
What's the
in a sense? It's like spring water is like,
I don't know my waters, y'all.
They don't know it's waters. And then even those essentials people, they like alkaline junkies, and they they want their pH on a level 9 type stuff, and I'm like, give me a 7.0 baseline spring water. And spring water is like fresh. It's fresh water. They filter it for impurities, but purified water. Think like boiling a pot on your stove,
right,
and pouring it in a water bottle or a jug, and then chilling it. That's what purified water is. Essentially. Got it. Or filtered tap water.
Okay, so airlines. Do you have a particular airline that you fly?
I have airlines that I don't fly.
Okay, what airlines? What airlines do you don't fly?
Spirit and Frontier.
Spirit and Frontier.
If I gotta pay for seats and space and
bags,
tickets and bags.
Oh my gosh!
If I gotta pay for a seatbelt, all that stuff, like
ghetto. You're
gonna
ghetto.
make me pay for snacks on this 7-hour flight. I'm not doing this with you today.
Okay, all right. So now, the hotel. Do you know about hotels? See, I don't know about hotels. Like I usually just, I don't like, as long as it's a 3-star or better. I'm like, you know, I don't care. But maybe I'm not bougie enough because they put me in the Holiday Inn Express, and I was like, this ain't it. So I just left. And so like someone told me the Hiltons. The Marriotts and the Sheratons. Yeah, I'm a Marriott junkie. You're a Marriott junkie? Okay, okay, all right, so. Can I go 4 and 5-star Marriotts? 4 and 5-star Marriott. But even then, I feel like, I don't know, it depends on, and it could be because we're not like on that level where we're like, ooh, y'all just catering to my every need. Like I could just pick whatever. Should we? You know what I'm saying? Should I be thinking about that? Like, okay, you're gonna pay me $2,000 to speak. All right, you say you'll cover travel, but do I then ask you to put me at the $400 a night hotel or the $300 a night hotel? Right, because I don't want to feel like I don't want them to not ask me back because I'm like, oh, when he comes, we've got to get this super hotel. All of these demands. I want to be easy to work with. I don't want to be Monique. I'm sorry, Monique. And I think it could come with some people. You shady. Some people, some ways of doing it is like there's like the up your price method where it includes room for you to all inclusive. Yeah, it's like all inclusive in a sense where you cover your own stuff, and then there's certain things where you can put in there where travel arrangements they kind of got to be discussed in a sense. Like they can tell you a budget. They could be like, I'm gonna get you a flight. I will pay for your travel, and then you send me a Spirit airline confirmation. And then I'm like, oh my God, all of a sudden I cannot make it to your event. That's crazy. So I met this lady at the airport, and she taught me how to travel. She travels all the time, right? Okay. So she said you should have $800 a week for a hotel. For 5 days, it should be $800 for the hotel. And then you divide that by, how many days you're staying. If you're only staying 2 days, you just take that divided by 5, and then you'll get how much it's going to cost per day, and then you add that up, right? She said 800? 800 a week. That's low. She said 800 a week. Okay. That's low? Dang, hold on, wait. let me do that math. 800 divided by 5, that's 160 a night. I mean, okay. That's 100. What kind of hotel you get? You get a nice hotel for 160 a night though, right? If you are. I mean, not in all cases, but Where you traveling to? Like this is in state. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay, in state, like Maryland, DC, DMV type stuff. Okay,
you can't get a nice hotel. Let me look up. Now I gotta look up hotels in DC.
It depends on the night, right? It depends on the night because hotel one day you can get like the 4-star for $165 or whatever, $150, and the next night or on a different week it'll be like $220.
Dang.
Add a resort fee and tax, and it's like it's even higher than
the
that.
Yotel at the 4-star Yotel is $113. Mm-hmm. The Washington Hilton, oh god dang! Now they going up. Yeah, yo,
like for 5 days $800. I mean, I guess $160.
Okay, all right. So it's got
your
some
personal travel, right? Like when you personally
this
travel.
One's $215 a night. Where are the Embassy Suites?
What's this?
That's only a 3.5 star though.
Yeah, I don't know.
5-star Sophie downtown. How much is this one? What the Sofitel, Washington D.C. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's $177 a night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me $800 a week for a hotel. She told me $700 for a flight there and back. She said $100 a day for food.
Okay.
$100 a day for food. What is that called? That's called a what? Addendum?
Per diem.
Per diem. That's what it's called. I need to write that down because I breathe. That's what it's called. Per diem. Okay. And then $400 a week for a rental car.
Okay.
If you need to get a rental car.
Like 5 days.
Yeah.
Like 5 days.
Yeah. How do you feel about those numbers?
I mean, I feel like the hotel is low, but
okay. So then what would you say? Would you make it 1,000?
I would make it 1,000. Yeah.
$1,000 a week for a hotel.
Minimum.
200 a night. You staying real nice. Ooh, you out here, yo.
And then I'll probably put a preference in there like, and you got to use my Marriott Rewards member number here. All my member
okay,
accounts,
so I'll see. Now I was going to ask that, right? I was going to ask that. Do you let them book it?
You add my rewards.
Yeah, because you're not getting the points if it's their joint, right?
Otherwise, I book my own travel and I'm just gonna put it in here and hope it's enough. So. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Maybe I'm not bougie enough.
Yeah, I feel like if we have preferences, I don't know. I know. Yeah, if I have preferences, I'm gonna do more of including that in my rate than I am asking the person to. Right,
demanding them to like.
It's more like if we want to stay in certain hotels that have certain waters and stuff, just make sure our rate kind of aligns with that standard.
Right.
And compensate yourself.
Okay, so speaking of rate,
I'll say that.
Speaking of rate, okay. I had someone call me and tell me that what I offer and as good as I do it is not congruent with what they paid me.
Charging these people.
Yeah, okay. And I've been undervaluing myself for a long time, yo.
Wow.
As good as I'm doing, right?
Okay, come to me like, yeah, we're gonna sing y'all to connect. Like, yeah, so and so them told us to come to you. They said you're probably underpricing yourself, but you know.
No.
I was like, the fact that they told you that,
right?
They're like, she's really good. We think she should charge more, but you can go to her if you want to tip her, then do it. But you will be very surprised at what the rate is. And I'm like,
so why do you think we undervalue ourselves?
Right?
Why do you think that? Why do you think you undervalue yourself? And I'll answer for myself.
Why do I undervalue myself? Mine comes with, and this is a work in progress thing, I would say. What do I even call it? Mine comes from this space of where at some point in my life, growing up, I didn't really see that the things that I did were that valuable. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it is kind of rooted in that. And then it's like I went through all this healing and it's like, okay, cool, I'm good. But then you see it comes out in still these smaller ways. So when I get to a point of like, yeah, and it's like, nah, I feel like I don't think I'm that good. Like I'm already like, Cookie, you're great. And it's like, yeah, it's okay. We're going. I'm just up a little bit, not a lot of it. I think that's me. That's me. That's me. It's like as you try to compensate, justify with this space of, I mean, I want to be affordable. I don't want to be somebody that's out here charging you $1,000 for a photo shoot and giving you 5 pictures back. Like,
right.
I'm trying to meet you here. So that's my justification. But the root of it kind of comes from this other space of like, how valuable?
Am I valuable? Am I worthy? Of that? Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I would definitely say along that same lines of like, am I valuable? And then also because I have mentors who've been doing this for a long
and it's
time.
Like, those kind of their rates, I really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, like he been doing this for 15 years. I'm like 6 years in. Like that's like, I shouldn't be.
Not me.
$5,000? Like why? No, like no. I shouldn't be getting $5,000 to speak right now. But when she called me, she's like, "No, you need to raise this by 2,000."
So wow.
I was like, "What?"
And ask for travel. Okay.
I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Has no one told you what the going rate is for someone of your caliber?" And I was like, "Of my caliber? What is my caliber?
Mean? What's my caliber?
What's my caliber? I don't even know my own caliber." So she told me, and she was like, and when she said that, I understood. So I have this new speech about a house and about how life is like a house. And so in part of that speech, I talk about how you need to get your house appraised. Mm-hmm. But oftentimes, if you were to appraise your own house, you probably undervalue it. So you need to get someone else to come in and appraise your house so that they can appraise it properly. Mm-hmm. Sort of like with my gift, right? And yours, we undervalue and underappraise our gift when we have people that are literally telling us, yo, you're worth way more than what you're getting right now.
Mm-hmm. Then that just made me think about the other side of that, where it's like people think their house is worth a lot more, and it's like you painted the walls, like that adds
this is
no
still wallpaper.
Literally took a bedroom away to make your bedroom bigger. You took away from your house more than anything. Like, right. That's funny, but I don't know. It just made me think about that. So it's like, yeah. Then there's like the undervalue where you invest, because it's like you're looking at the wrong things, investing in the wrong areas, and it's like, oh, I should be worth this much because all of this. This is how it looks, and it's like, no. Meanwhile, we have the deck and the garage and the porch that kind of wraps around in the sense and the new roofing, and we're just like, my house not worth that much. It's not that great.
You got all the bells and whistles. You got square
in the
feet,
right places, right? The kitchen is super updated. Right. The bathroom looks spectacular.
Right. But you're still undervaluing your house.
Yeah.
Stop undervaluing your house. Like, yeah, like when she told me that, yo, like I was like, okay, like duly noted. I need to I need to raise my price because I am really that good. And I don't know. And I've never been the one who kind of looked at things like people who have longevity or seniority should be getting paid the most. My thing is always people who bring the most value and who are the most skilled and talented should be paid the most. Yeah. And I never regarded myself that way until she said that. And funny enough, Bree said that to me 2 weeks ago, which I was like, all right, I'm definitely gonna do that. But I was only gonna go up a little, like you said, right? I'm like, all right, let me just go up a little. No, she said at least 2,000. So I'm like, on top of what I already am doing, I need to add more. So like literally this month of February, I could have doubled my income if I would have charged what I'm worth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, missed out on opportunities there, y'all, and I'm super mad about that. But it's a learning experience, and I think that now that I have this information going forward, I'll be able to coach my clients into the same thing.
It digs into like, how do you value yourself? How do we set a value? How do you value yourself in a sense, right? Like, what things are we looking at in our businesses, in the work that we do, and considering them things of value? You know, how would you? Yeah, I guess what would you say is important when it comes to what are things to consider or to look at when it comes to valuing your company or service or self?
I would say, what problem do you solve? What problem do you solve, and what value are you adding? I think what happens with speaking specifically about speakers, that was a little tongue twister right there. It's really hard to do, especially when you got braces. Those ethics get tricky. Speaking specifically about speakers, I think a lot of speakers, they pour emotionally out and they speak emotionally. I'm more of a speaker who I'm going to give you tangible things that you can do right now to help you where you are in your life. Like, that's always my goal, is I want you to walk away with something. Like, when even in my speech, when people ask me, why do I call myself Backpack Jeff? Because I want to deposit something in your metaphorical backpack that you can take with you and keep with you, right? So that's always what my goal is. So I think when you're trying to value, you're trying to praise yourself, I think what you need to do is figure out what problem do you solve, and then what value do you add. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. What about you? What do you? How do you
think about? There's the analytical side of my brain. Like, yeah, like what is the educate, like, on that instant thing? Like, how much research, how much development, how much knowledge do I have about this topic? There's that thing. And then what is important to my customers and the people that I serve, in a sense. So it's like, if they think like easy processes are important, right? And it's like, okay, we got that going on over here. So if you see that and you see this price, and I have things that incorporate that include what the customer sees as valuable in a sense, then yeah, it's kind of when you look at the price and it's like, oh, it makes sense, but it has everything that I need. I don't got to worry about somebody not calling me back, me not knowing where to find stuff, all this other things, because everything's right here in front of my face. So yeah.
I love it. Did you have anything particular that you
for today?
Yeah. No. Okay. So over the last couple of days, I've been traveling and speaking, and one of the things that has come up is how do you deal with a major breakup, like in a relationship, and not let it affect your motivation.
That's funny. Go ahead. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, like a major personal relationship.
No, like a spouse, like a significant other, not a friend, not a business partner. We talking about a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and y'all were together for 3-4 years, and y'all broke up. How do you work through that? And then also, how do you not allow that to affect your motivation?
Interesting. But then, how was it motivating you? I guess it depends on how. Because you're
in a state of depression. You're in a state of depression. And it's like, I don't feel like doing nothing right now. I don't feel like getting out of the bed because my girl broke up with me, and I don't feel like doing nothing like right now. They're like, come on, yo, let's go to the gym. Nah, man, I ain't doing nothing right now, man. Nah, I'm just in a depressive state, and I don't feel like doing nothing right now. How would you help people with that?
How would I help people with that? It's so, like, I feel like it's such an individual.
It's because she's been out here breaking hearts, and she hasn't had her heart broken. This is songs of the heartbreaker, not the heartbreaky.
I just don't grab the hearts to be responsible for them. Any responsibility. Let me take y'all. I can't, because if I don't see you like that now, I'm gonna waste your time. Just leave me alone. Please just leave me alone. Okay, anyway, sidetrack. Dang, man, I don't know. I mean, one, it's like, okay, take some time with yourself, right? There's that space of like, all right, let's acknowledge the way you feel, let's Make sure you checking in with yourself. Let's not bury you. Okay, you got a day of mourning. Boom, bam, pow. I'm wondering what their community looks like in a sense, right? Like, do you have people that are checking in with you or do you not? So that's something to consider, and how involved they are in your life on a general level. Then there's the space of, okay, we'll give you time to mourn, to be sad, to whatnot. What type of work are you doing though? You know, it's like, are you someone who, are you a business that serves clients on a daily basis and now you're missing meetings and other things like that? Like, do you need to communicate, hey, I'm offline all week. Like, some things have went down. So finding ways to communicate.
Some things went down.
Some
like
things went down.
That's how. And
I will be offline. We are closed.
Some things went down. Okay.
What happened? Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would have to know that person. I would want to know, like, what their community is like. What was motivating you to begin with, right? Like, where did your motivation come from? Was your motivation your relationship? Okay, you're sad now. Like, okay, let's be sad. But how long you want to be sad? Like,
anybody want to buy a heart?
Yo. Sad.
Hey, yo. Oh, my goodness.
I can't.
Cookie, we're asking you to help the people.
And I'm just like, you cried for 2 days. It's time to get up.
Get up and do what? They just want. You watched Hitch, right?
Okay.
When when Allegra Cole, he was eating the donuts. He was like, cardiac arrest seems less painful.
Here I am, like, can you just please just take this survey for me real quick so I can see your personality?
Oh my God.
Right now.
I listen. I apologize in advance for my friend here. I thought I was cold blooded.
It's so bad. Like, I was just sitting. Okay, man, that's so sad. Like, all right, okay.
Okay, so how many days so if one of your girlfriends broke up with her man and she was depressed, how many days are you giving her to wallow in that feeling?
Give her like a week, but not like by herself. Like, I'm gonna come around after like day. Maybe I come around right away. I give her like that first day and see how she doing. It's like, all right, okay. Try to keep you distracted. Okay, I'm gonna go to work now. I'll be back, and I leave and give her some days where we'll do like a call check-in type of situation or deal.
Do you try to take her out at all?
Not right away. I'll probably come in before I drag her out. Okay. And then, because it's like, you know, I'm a sole believer of, I will help you as the person who is down on the side of the road and take you to the inn and make sure they got everything that you need. And then I'm going to keep going on the journey that I was on, and I'm going to come back and check on you. I like do stuff like that. It's like I wasn't called to take care of, to stop everything I'm doing to take care of you. But I'm here to check in and just to help you in your process, but you're not about to take my focus. Unless I'm called to actually be there and slow down, then I will stop and stay. So friend, break up. She's sad. Ooh.
She's only giving you a week, friend.
Yeah, I'm really.
And then after that,
only giving you a week. Because if you are that close to me, that means you have some drive in you and won't got time for you to be sitting around moping all day. It's like, okay. All right, we done? You want to pray? You want to journal? Like, I can take you outside a couple nights, but what will help you? Okay. Let's talk about what will help you get back to some type of routine. Let's wash your face. When we clean the house, I did the laundry. Like, what else you got for me? So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I found ways to serve and stuff, but to make it easier and kind of see how it goes.
So I was asked that question last night.
Well, how did you answer it? Because I'm not the one.
I was asked that question last night by like 3 or 4 men. Okay. 3 or 4 young men, right? They're in college, 18, 19, and I told them I told them, number one, too much time sitting with yourself and thinking about it is not healthy. Yeah. Number one, because that right there is how you literally going to mess up your whole mental, because you're going to go on a whole story of, and thinking about how good you were to this person and what they didn't do for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to think about that. So I told them, number one, I said you need to combat those thoughts that you have about this person, because they're not benefiting you, they're only hurting you. Too much time sitting idle is definitely not good. You need to occupy your mind. And when you occupy your mind, it's gonna be less challenging to kind of work through those different emotions, because it's really not there, because you're not thinking about it. So for me, when I was in that stage, I would like go for a run. I would go work out. I would go play basketball. I would listen to music. I would write or something like that. And that would help me get through it. And then number two, what I wanted to say, I didn't say it to him, but I sent him a DM. I told her, I said, bro, you need to just cry about it and just get it out. You need to cry like a man and get it and just get it out, because I know you haven't sat with it and just released all of it and not made yourself feel bad for doing it, because we tried not to cry. Because, you know, that's what we've been told, you know what I mean? Don't cry because it makes you look soft, it makes you look weak and stuff like that. So I messaged him and I said, if you haven't cried about this and you haven't released all of it and just like let it all out, like you need to find a quiet place. You need to go in the shower, go in your room when there ain't nobody there, when you know your roommate is in school, or you need to go find a closed space where it's just you and your thoughts, and maybe you just need to cry that joint out. You just need to cry it out, and then from there, then again you got to start occupying your time, because you're going to think about it. You're definitely going to think about it. But the thing is now, can you combat those thoughts and those and those feelings that you have?
Yeah, that's good. You know. Okay, we're done.
We're going. So we have a psychologist. We have a psychologist right there
for you, and then like, hey, send it to you directly, because I didn't know how to say it to you face to face or whatever that is, but. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'll have those like motivational talks and things like that. I think the response was good for them. But then there's also that space of like, because we can occupy our time, but we don't want to get in the habit of like just occupying our time. It's like we got to find ways to combat whatever it is, or to kind of counteract or defense, play offense against the things that are playing in our mind that have us down in the first place. It's like, okay, we broke up. She was everything to me. And it's like, okay, question, was she everything? What is it? Was that all your life?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, you feel like you weren't enough. But why do you, it's like, okay, let's affirm the fact that you are enough. Or let's affirm the fact that you are worthy. And like remove this situation from being a personal attack on you. Like, let's just see this separately. As that person is their person, they can choose what they want to do with their life. In a sense, right? Separate yourself from that and stop thinking that you are not enough or worthy. Like, let's attack all those little lies that are kind of streaming around you that have you feeling low. Get some truth in there, and then hopefully, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely agree with you. I think that so that was one of the other big things that we talked about yesterday as well, is that like how do you control your mental and control your emotions, right? So we talked yesterday about conflict resolution, and one of the things that I talk about in conflict resolution is emotional awareness. Like, can you be emotionally aware of yourself, and also can you command your thoughts? What you think about, what you believe. Are you a pessimist or an optimist, right? So talk about that. What's your experience? Are you a pessimist or an optimist? I would imagine you're probably an optimist, truthfully. You smile and wear yellow all the time. But like talk about like mindset. What are some things that people can do to help increase their mindset? Or how did you do it yourself? Like how did Cookie become an optimist? Like how do you look at life the way that you look at life? Because that's not innate. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is a little more traumatic than anything, but it's not all peaches and rainbows over here. But a lot. So mine started off as this space of with some childhood stuff. My mom used to make everything seem okay. Like we would be going through like all types of chaos, and this lady would be like, you go from, oh yeah, we can't go home because your daddy tripping, so we're gonna sleep in his van. And instead of me like communicating in a way that is sad or whatever, it'll be like, hey guys, we're gonna have a sleepover in the van. I got snacks and I got a movie. Like she literally found ways to push good into bad situations. The bad part of that was like, then you go through life with this not knowing how to identify bad. But the great thing was there was always a way to look for good, to find good, to make good out of just about any and every situation, and kind of hope for it in a sense too. You just got to add that, like, okay, but let's realistically talk about the other things. So a lot of it comes from that. And then there was this space of, I've naturally always believed in the good of humanity, in a sense of,
you believe in this world.
It's wild, right? Because it's a lot of awful things out here. But I think it came from just the way that my grandmother moved and treated people and all of that stuff. Like she carried this grace and this love for people, regardless of who they were, what they were, how they moved, that was admirable. And seeing that gave me this space of like, I want that. Like,
I like how happy she is.
I like how happy she is. I like how
I feel that same way about my grandmother.
Yeah, she identifies these wrong things that are happening. Like she will call out a bad situation. She will call out chaos. She will call out things that are belittling and diminishing to people and others and environments and stuff, but in the same light still carry this goodness and add light and add grace and add like fruit into those situations. And I remember looking at her and just being like, yeah, I want to be somebody who like lights up rooms like that. I want to be that.
That's why. So. That's why I feel the same way about my grandmother. The way that she lived her life and how happy she was admirable. And I said, how do I get that? Because that happiness, I want to experience that. Yeah. I love listening to my grandmother laugh. My grandmother has like the best laugh in the world. And it's one of the things that I enjoy about her so much. And because she enjoys life, I'm like, yo, I want to enjoy life just like she enjoys life. So you chose happiness and you chose belief as opposed to the opposite. Why do you think people choose the opposite though? Because
that's all they see, right? And they don't, I feel like it's because of one, that's all they see. And then there's like all the trust issues and all that stuff that comes, but they don't experience a lot of otherwise. Or they haven't seen a lot of otherwise enough to believe in it, enough to know that it is for them, right? So something that I would, if I was to question you guys, everyone else, it's like asking yourself this question of, what makes me feel good? What are attributes of people, of situations, of spaces that make me feel good? You know, what are good feelings? Like let's identify good feelings. And then identify things that make you feel, that give you those feelings, right?
I like that.
And then at that point, it's like, okay, now how do I align myself or align my environments or align my mental space with what that looks like, right? So, yeah, it's like you take something, this thing makes me, these are good feelings. These are feelings that I want to feel. This is what makes me feel that way.
Right.
So anything that is not this should not be occupying my space, right? At that point, it's like everything that doesn't look like this should not occupy my space. And then it's kind of, you take your mind and it's like, okay, I'm down today.
Right.
Why am I down today? Okay, I don't like feeling like this. I don't like the feeling of I don't like the feeling of I don't like feeling misunderstood or unseen or whatever. What's causing me to feel like this right now? And how do I remove it from my space
Right.
or my energy. And it's like, even if it's not like well, it's not saying like we got to cut people off or like burn the bridge and don't talk to this person again.
Right.
But even just identifying the situation, and it's like you practicing like even from preventive measures or opening up to certain conversations or just realigning your mindset in a sense, right? It's like, well, what's making me feel unworthy? All right, like, what are the things that make me feel worthy? Let me just put more energy over there for right now, in a sense. So
so with that, right, I want you all to catch what it is that she's saying is that, number one, you have to be able to identify when you're in that feeling, and you have to be able to catch that. If you can't identify it and if you can't catch it, then it's going to be something that's going to be a challenge for you to exercise. Okay, let me figure out what it is that makes me happy. So number one, identify what it is that makes you happy, and then number two, be able to identify when you're in those feelings of I don't feel good about myself.
A space that is not that.
Yeah, right? a space that is not conducive to where it is that you're trying to go. I think that's so important, and I think that I'm going to incorporate that into if someone asks me that next time, is that you have to be able to identify those thoughts and then find out what it is that makes you happy. Yeah. When are you at your happiest? When do you feel less stress? When do you feel bliss or a feeling of utopia? When do you feel those things? Yeah. And then be able to associate those, be able to engage and practice in those things. I like that. That was good. Okay. All right. Look at. Okay. Some layers up in here. All right. She out here spilling her heart on the mic. Go ahead, poet.
Don't come crying right away, but I got you. I got you.
All right, poet. I love it. So we're rounding out quarter one. Okay, we're like midway through the first quarter. Has 2023 been what you expected so far?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
More on the organizational tip, because it's like if I think about it in a way of I want 2023 to be 1%, 2%, 5%, whatever percentages better than last year. It just has to be better than last year. Well, what didn't go well last year, or what needed to improve from last year? And this is more on a business aspect. That's how I look at the yearly calendars, and implementing things that produce the fruit of what those percentages are, right? So if it's like a workflow thing, it's like, let me create an intake process. It's like, okay, the process has been created. All right, now let's communicate that off to the clients, or let me create a rewards program so that, clients are more inclined to refer and reach back. They kind of feel some type of connection in that way. So I see progress in a lot of the things that I kind of set forth to push off this year. And yeah, so far so good. I'm not doing the same stuff as last year, so I think that matters the most.
Absolutely, I'm with you. I think for me, 2023 has it's been better than I thought it would be, for a couple reasons. I actually ended up getting fired from my one job, but I realized that they were actually holding me back. And I was so afraid to let that job go. I think that God had to say, let me let this go for you. And then let me show you what I can do. And he, like, literally this month has been a phenomenal month for Backpack Jeff. Like, this has been our best month for Backpack Jeff Enterprises in the and I'll say even in the 40. So my goal was to do $20,000 in February. I didn't do that, but if I take the last week of January, the last 40 days instead of 28, then I'll do 20,000 in 40 days, which is still pretty good. And I just didn't expect to be able to have this level of success like right away, but because I was occupying so much time with this job, I wasn't able to give a proper amount of time to Backpack Jeff. And then once that job got taken, now it's like, okay, all I have to do now is Backpack Jeff. And if I just spend more time doing Backpack Jeff, I can actually like stuff is actually going to be okay.
That was the legit question I asked myself before I quit my job last year.
Really?
Yeah. Before I quit, I took I was like, I took 2 weeks off or a week off or something like that to kind of I'm mad right now at this place, but let me just make sure I'm making what decision I'm making is solid. So kind of take some time away. And in that space, the question was I was like, okay, imagine what I can do if I had more capacity if I wasn't spending 35, 40 hours a week and whatever other mental capacity that was taken from me on this job and applying it to these other things, imagine where things would go. And it was there would be so much time to do so many things and implement so much stuff and kind of stretch those capacities. And it was imagine what could happen. And then I got this piece maybe a week later that it was time to go, even without the plan and anything like that. It was okay.
Yeah.
Imagine what you can do. All right, I got you.
And that's why I know this year will be my last year working for someone. There's still some things that I want to kind of set in place to make sure that I'm good going into full-time entrepreneurship. So I'm still kind of holding on to one, but that's why I know that this is going to be my last year working for someone, because I'm at that place right now where I have systems and processes in place. I have my CRM now. Amazing. Oh my gosh. This new CRM that I have. Oh my gosh, this joint is fire. I have my SOPs in place. I have my different contracts in place. I have I know me and my assistant, we know exactly where we're going and how we're going to get there. And it literally is just it's more activity, Jeff. Everything is easy, everything is simple. Now it's more activity. And now that I've raised my prices to where I should be, because I can command that, it's going to be even easier. Because literally what took me so with my other job, I work 40 hours a week. Work 40 hours a week. So multiply that times 4. That's what, 80, 160, 160 hours. 160 hours a month. I was taking home $3,000. I make that in an hour now.
You're huh? 160 to 1.
The amount of time it took me to accumulate that, I'm able to now do that in just 1 hour. And I'm like, wait, so to substitute this job, all I have to do is just get one speaking engagement every single month.
And it's because it's even if you broke it down into prep time and the travel and all that stuff, it's still it doesn't amount to 160 hours. I give you 12 max. 3,000, I give you 12 max.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Depending on if I got to fly, then maybe 12. But if it's something that I can, if I got to drive or something like that, I can
drive. And even flying out there, it's 3 hours. I'm kind of chilling. Crazy. So
and during that time, I'm also reaching out to more people, sending out more emails. So I have more time to operate in what it is that I want, right? And so now to substitute that job, I only need one speaking engagement. To substitute my other one, I need 1.5 speaking engagements. So my objective is, can I get 2.5 speaking engagements or 3 speaking engagements every single month at the rate that I should be being compensated at? And I know I can get 3 speaking engagements every single month. That's easy.
Yeah.
I know I can do that every single month. And so, that's once a week. That's not even once a week. And then I want to eventually be able to move that to 4, which will be 1 a week, and then 5, and then keep going from there. So yeah. Oh man, this year's gonna be great, yo. This it's already been great. This year's gonna be phenomenal. I also have a secret that I would like to share.
Okay.
We're pregnant.
Really?
Yeah. We're pregnant.
That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Lil Peanut.
Little Peanut.
Shout out to Lil Peanut right now.
Do you know the sex? You don't know the sex?
No, we don't know it yet. We've known since the week after Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, we've known since I think we're like 10. We're like 10 weeks. I think we'll be 11 weeks on Tuesday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll be like 11 weeks on Tuesday.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we are. Listen, we told the people we wasn't wasting no time. We told the people we wasn't wasting no time, yo.
We all getting a little.
Listen,
like, okay.
Come on, let's go ahead and knock these bad boys
all right,
out.
Guys, I will see y'all. I'm gonna be pregnant in a couple months. Like, y'all can come to the wedding. We'll be back. I'm taking no engagements for the next.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to get all of my travel out right now. Yeah, I'm trying to get all my travel out right now. Yes. August is looking crazy right now already, and the baby is due. The baby is due September the 5th. So like that I'm not going to be able to travel that week at all. I'm going to have to do everything local that week, and maybe even a week before. Because if she calls me and says, "Yo, I just water broke. I'm sorry, I got to go." So I wanted to ask you too. Yeah. Are you comfortable speaking? Mm-hmm. You are?
Yeah. Okay. I've been thinking about taking some classes too, though.
Yeah.
Or something, but yeah, I'm very comfortable speaking.
Okay, because I have a lot of opportunities that week, that first week of school, like that freshman orientation week, and all colleges go back to school pretty much like the same week, and some of them it's like the week before, week after, right? And I can't get to all of them, so I need to pass them to people that I know is going to who I know are going to be able to speak and speak well.
And relate to the people.
Yes. So as those different things come in, now that I know that I have you, I want to have that and keep that in my back pocket because there's a lot of different locations and they all keep saying, "We want you for welcome. We want you for welcome." And I'm like, listen, y'all better get y'all dates. 2 of them already got their dates. So the 16th and the 18th, we're already locked in.
But y'all,
the other ones, I'm gonna need y'all to,
That's when it's like, okay, now y'all keep saying. Tell you it's a hot week if you don't pay this deposit and sign this agreement.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna have me. So it's first come, first serve at this point. I'm not holding nothing.
At this point, and y'all can get into a bidding war.
Yes, you can.
Say, well, they said they was gonna give me this.
So how bad do you want me?
You know what I'm saying? They say they was gonna give me this. So
like, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. Talk to us. Tax season is here. Crunch financials. What's going on? What's going on with the people? What should people know? What should people know about this season?
About tax season? First of all, okay. In the past few weeks, I have, bless everybody's heart, if you do not hire Crunch Financials to do your stuff, it's cool. But I just need you to pay attention, to ask questions to whoever is doing your taxes about what their credentials are, about what type of practices they're choosing, about if they explain to you how they got you this tens of thousands of dollars in money from the IRS. I've had multiple clients come to me so far this season who are trying to correct previous returns, or are coming to me or trying to correct previous returns because they received some outrageous, hey, you owe us a bill from the state or from the government because of inflated numbers on their tax return. And when they saw these inflated numbers, it was stuff like, oh, $60,000 in medical expenses. And it's like, were you in the hospital last year for anything?
In a coma.
And they're like,
that's ICU.
No. It's like, you weren't in the hospital. I reviewed your return and you got $60,000 worth of medical expenses on here. That is why the IRS came to look for you, because you apparently were in the hospital for 6 months. But then your W-2 also says that you worked for 12 months out of the year. So help us understand. So if you don't have a tax professional, I would, whoever you're getting, make sure they are explaining to you what they're putting. Make sure you are looking at these 1040s and Schedule Cs. Like, people have claimed businesses for people. They've claimed credits that people aren't applicable, that don't really apply to them. And the thing is, the IRS, they don't audit you. Like, they're not just auditing everybody. So a lot of this stuff you can get away with it initially. And then they'll come back to you 2-3 years down the line, and it's like something ain't adding up.
Right.
Or once they've done their reviews, so it's like they could catch it right away, or they could catch it years down the line, and then by then
you gotta prove it.
Yeah, but then it's like you either gotta prove it or you're paying. It's like, oh, but the way we calculated your return is you owe us $15,000, and you owe us the money that we gave you, and you owe us the interest and the penalties on that money. So, you about to cough up $50,000 because you weren't paying attention to what your tax professional was doing to your return. So, great refunds are great, but it is better to break even than it is to be caught up in a situation.
Well,
so,
I need Crunch Financial to get me a refund for my business.
I got you.
Okay, because this right here costs every single month.
Thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got some deductions. We done bought TVs, computers, and everything.
We just not going to put you in a coma. That's all.
Yeah, no, please don't put me in a coma for 6 months, because I've been out here in these streets running rampant.
I couldn't believe it. I was just like, yo. And it's like people don't know what to look for. So I was like, I can't really blame anybody. You think I'm going to this person, I was recommended, I saw this sign, they're going to help me submit this stuff. But you got to
come to me if you want to get top dollar on your tax refund.
I am here for
Don't ask how I'm going to do it. Just know that I'm going to do it.
Just know that I'm going to do it. I get maybe like get $10,000 back per dependent. And I made sure all of your dependents were also in the hospital with you. So try me.
Bree can write off her pregnancy on her taxes, can't she? I thought I saw that as a thing.
Expenses related, not really the pregnancy itself.
No, I thought I saw somewhere like if you're pregnant, you can claim it as a dependent, even if you're still pregnant.
No.
Never mind.
No, but the fact that, she's having, that's funny. It's like those couple weeks before the year. No, she can't claim that. If you had a baby on December 31st, though, you can claim that baby for the whole year.
Dang it.
I will say that. So, yeah.
Oh, it's all right. That baby will be here in September.
It's all right.
Yes. Any closing remarks before we wrap up?
No. Catch me and Jeff at our core business happy hours on second Wednesdays at the Moxie.
Twos.
We're like 2 months in, so there are many more to go. So pull up on us.
Many more to go. Absolutely. This will actually be dropped on this Tuesday. So we